The New York Knicks are rolling right now, winners of 6 of their last 7 games, and a large part of that has been due to Mitchell Robinson and his dominance on the defensive end. But a lot of times when the New York Knicks talk about upgrading their front court and making changes to their roster, Mitchell Robinson's name does come up in a lot of these potential trade reports. However, according to sources, the New York Knicks do not intend to involve Mitchell Robinson in any trade talks. But an NBA insider also reveals what the New York Knicks are planning to do with Robinson if and when they trade for that superstar. We're going to break down all of this and so much more today. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Mitchell Robinson is not available for any trades. And I know for New York Knicks fans who have seen Robinson this season, seen the leap he's taken this season, and see how monstrous he's looked on the defensive end, I know this has to be music to your ears because Robinson is looking like one of the best centers in terms of defense that is available, that is currently playing in the league. He is dominating on both ends of the floor, and it's just great to see. And the reason I say both ends of the floor is because even though he's not getting a lot of shots, his offensive rebounding is amazing. And the second chance opportunities that he allows the New York Knicks to get, everybody can understand why the Knicks would rather keep him versus trade him off in any type of deal. But according to Matt Moore of Action Network, he actually gives us an update on what the New York Knicks are thinking if and when they trade for that superstar. The Knicks, according to multiple sources that talk to Action Network, do not intend on making Mitchell Robinson available in any such trade talks. They prefer to try and replicate the too big look of Minnesota with Towns and Rudy Gobert, only with Mitchell. This is a very interesting concept, and honestly, I am 100% behind it. Mitchell Robinson, the more you take him out of the paint, the less effective and the less impactful on the game that he is. He is probably one of the best paint defenders in the league. And the closer he is to the basket, the more offensive rebounds and the more rebounds in total he's going to get. He's more effective there. You need to have Mitchell Robinson in an area of the court where he is most impactful. And if you're Tom Thibodeau, you need to allow Mitchell Robinson to be on the court in areas where he can help the game and thus help the Knicks more. And if you compare Mitchell Robinson with a star or all-star big right next to him so Robinson can stay in the paint, but that other big can go out to guard those other big type of centers that maybe play outside a little bit more, have a more perimeter game, have a more three-point shot, then maybe that big that you bring in can guard that player. And also, on the offensive end, he can help draw out that other big because he's going to have to come out to guard this new star that you trade for. I like this. I don't know if it's going to be Karl-Anthony Towns. According to reports, this Towns thing is overblown and it's coming from the New York Knicks. So because of that, I don't see the New York Knicks actually going after Towns. But does that mean that they won't go after another all-star center? Somebody else who's a big man in this game that they could utilize to help Mitchell Robinson stay in the paint and still help the Knicks be effective on the defensive end and also the offensive end. That's the biggest thing with Mitch. He doesn't give you much on offense, but it also is on the New York Knicks. They don't make him enough of a lob threat. How do you have such a big man in Mitchell Robinson in the game, such a dominant presence, and you don't utilize the lob threat? It's such a mystery to me. The Knicks need to do that more. Unfortunately, they don't, and I kind of understand it to an extent because they want to make sure that Mitchell Robinson is focused on rebounding and dominating on defense. But that still doesn't matter. I still think you should get him a little bit more on offense, and I think you can, especially if you're a point guard in this league. I said it before, and I'll say it again. If Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickley can utilize the lob threat that is Mitchell Robinson more effectively, their games are going to open up. They're going to be more effective in the passing lanes as well, too. And not only that, when they're driving up and down the court and defenses know that they're going to have to worry about the lob threat, they're going to relax and lay off of these guards. And that's going to allow players like Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickley, who can thrive in the paint and find their own shot, to have more space to operate. Everybody wins. How can you not like this? I would love to see Mitchell Robinson utilized in this way a little bit more, but if you include another big man, star or all-star, coming to this team, and you can make them that lob threat as well, and Mitchell Robinson is still in the paint to be impactful and effective, this Knicks team might be one of the hardest teams to beat in the NBA. It just depends on the assets you have to give up to get that other player, because we don't know if we're talking about a role player here. But here's another point to bring up, because even though we know what the New York Knicks are looking to do now, even though we know their master plan is to pair Mitchell Robinson with another all-star big to see what that tandem looks like, basically a light version of what the Minnesota Timberwolves are running in Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, even though we know that's what the New York Knicks are pushing for, what about now? What about the current Knicks? What about this current roster? What should this version of the Knicks do with the people that they have? In my opinion, the Knicks need to play two big men in a lineup against certain teams that they have an advantage of. So in my opinion, some nights, play Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson together against other lineups that have premier all-star type of bigs that are going to give Mitchell Robinson problems. I think if you're playing the Celtics, for instance, you might want to play Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein together. Isaiah Hartenstein can go out to defend Kristaps Porzingis on the perimeter or on the three-point line, and Mitchell Robinson can stay inside guarding the paint from Jason Tatum's of the world, from Jaylen Brown's of the world, or Kristaps Porzingis himself if he gets into the paint. So I think a two-man big man can work against selective teams. Not every team, but selective teams. But you're going to need a coach that has the mindset and the foresight and the willingness to experiment and do it and try it. If the Knicks are willing to do it already with a star that they're looking to bring in that's a big man, then why not experiment with it now and see what it looks like now? You can make the argument that if it doesn't work early on, you can make it work later on. So when you make the move, it works seamlessly then at that point. You could be preparing for what could be a future move later on if you do the move now. I think it only helps the Knicks in so many ways. I said it in the earlier stages of this video and I'll say it again. Mitchell Robinson is less effective the more you take him away from the basket. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's just less effective for what the Knicks need him to be. If he's in the paint, he's dominant. He's more effective, and he's going to give you everything you need and more. Those putbacks are going to be there and more, and you need him to do that. You need him to be that threat for putbacks and for rebounds, because defenses are going to look at him and going to say, I'm going to need to foul him or stop him because I can't let this guy continue to dominate the boards. Because let's get it straight here. If you've been watching the Knicks games like I have over the last few, Mitchell Robinson is a dominant presence for this Knicks team in the paint and on the glass. And I know I just said the last few. I'm sorry about that. I take it back. For the entire season, Mitchell Robinson has been doing this. And it's no surprise or a shock. He did it last year. He's just in better conditioning and in better shape this year to start the season. And that's why we're seeing this impact so early on. And that's why I can say comfortably that this Knicks team, at times, depending on who they start, look like one of the best teams in the East. There's no denying that. Their defense, top notch. Their offense, I know it started slow, but now it's coming along, and now it's top notch. We know what the Knicks are looking to do. We know the future moves they want to make. Thank you, Action Network, for giving us this information. I appreciate it. But now that you've equipped me with this information, now I have to challenge the Knicks to start doing things to support that move. And that means, depending on the teams that you play a two-man big lineup with Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, or Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims. I don't care who it is, but you have to do it, you have to experiment with it, and you have to see if it works. Because if it works, and it helps this Knicks team win more, then why not do it? Because the ultimate goal is to win as many games as we can, and to give ourselves the best position and seeding when it comes to the playoffs. And I think doing this will help the Knicks get to that goal. But what about you guys? What do you think about the New York Knicks and their ultimate goal to pair Mitchell Robinson with another all-star big? And would you like to see the Knicks run a two-man big in Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, or Jericho Sims and Mitchell Robinson? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.